So in the middle of this really difficult season, a friend invited me to a concert in downtown Chicago. It was in this great little theater in the Round. And I had been praying for God to somehow show up in this just difficulty. Like, God, if you're real, which I'm believing that you are, make yourself real to me in this season because I need to experience you here. We sat down and immediately the lights went dark and this screen descended from the ceiling and flashed a trigger warning, and then started displaying these really disturbing images, honestly, images of child soldiers, images of poverty, images of suffering and hunger and things like that. And then this choir dressed all in dark robes came onto the stage and began singing this like low, slow, ancient funeral dirge. The mood in the theater switched because at first we were, of course, excited and expectant to be at the concert, but then kind of the wind was knocked out of your sails. And I turned to my friend and I said, I don't know if I can be here. I'm dealing with too much of this. I don't want to be thinking about it right now. What I didn't realize is that there was another choir actually planted in the audience. They were disguised as audience members. And kind of out of nowhere, they stood up and they began singing over us this hopeful, triumphant, joyful song. What began to happen is that the audience focus shifted. So even though the disturbing images were still being displayed, and even though this like low grief song was still being sung, your focus shifted to the hopeful song, to the triumphant song. And I know this may sound crazy, but I felt like somewhere deep in my soul, I felt like God was saying to me, Aubrey, this is what I do. I don't pretend like pain doesn't exist. I don't pretend like suffering doesn't exist. And I don't need you to pretend like it doesn't exist either. But I am in the middle of singing a louder song than your pain or your suffering could ever sing. I am singing a song of hope and renewal and restoration. And I sat there at that concert bawling my eyes out, honestly, and it was like the first time I finally released all of my pain and my grief and my questions to God. And from that point on, I felt like God invited me on this lament journey, really to hear his louder song over the things that I was going through and over the pain in this world.